That's right, Black Power.
Oh, we should do that,
Black Power.
Black Power.
That's right, that's what we talking about, right? Because they damn sure showing us white power.
Oh.
Right. Can I get a loud Black Power? Black Power! Black Power! Black Power! Unite or keep dying!
Unite or keep dying! Oh, we need to do
Look, it's not rocket science. Unite or keep dying!
Unite or keep dying!
Black Power!
Unite or keep dying!
This is another New Black World Order TV Productions. What's up, homie?
Hey, family, how you doing?
That shining prince. What's happening?
Yeah.
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing fine. It's interesting how today, this morning, I was in my spirit, I was hearing a message, and then when I walked up, you was like, you want to do a video. So that is actually enabling me to go ahead and say what I wanted to say, because I was going to save it for when I got home and do it myself. But anyway, it was about the conditioned mind, and the concept of God. Because before we were given the concept, any concept whatsoever, any concept, whether it's who you believe yourself to be, God, the devil, being a Christian, Muslim, Jew, whatever, before you was given that concept, what were you then? What were we? Did you believe in a God? Could you believe in a God, or could you, or would you understand what the concept of God is? The truth is, we wouldn't have any concept whatsoever. But we would have a concept of existence. And we wouldn't even have a concept of existence, we would just exist. So before the conditioning took place of who we believe ourselves to be, what religion we take on, our identity, there was just existence. So without any conditioning whatsoever, would you still exist? Would there still be a God? Would there still be a devil? Would there be anything to argue about whatsoever? Would there be anything to debate about?
That's a good question.
It's a great question. That's why the scriptures refer to becoming born again. Because when you at birth, you don't have any concepts. There is no concept. Every concept that you have, you've been taught. And either you accepted some concepts and you rejected some concept. But it was a concept, it was nothing but a thought. So the truth is, when you come back into existence, which is omnipresent, which is the I am principle, which is what the book Hotep the Cure for Humanity is pointing to, when you come back into that energy, then all concepts are dispelled, and all restrictions are dispelled, and all limitations are dispelled, and your suffering will cease to exist. Because everybody's going through some form of suffering in some way, whether it's at home, within yourself, within your mind. You see what's happening. I looked on the internet today, and the brother from Minnesota was shot in the car.
With his daughter. The other guy named Alton Sterling.
That's right. But
hey, man, I can't. Listen, man.
It's rough, but the suffering is going to continue all because of mistaken identity. These concepts that we have of ourselves and who we have of each other. Because now a cop pull up, you know, my question was, and I'm getting a little bit off subject, but when he says, according to his girl, that he had a gun, that he was the owner registered of a gun, he had one, did he say that at the time he was ordered to get his identity out of his pocket?
I'm pretty sure, man.
And so I understand the nervousness of this cop already, because the climate has been built on fear and misperception of who we are, the prejudice and racism, and all this is based on identity, a concept of identity, division. Are you black? Are you white? Are you a mulatto? Are you Chinese? Are you Asian? All of this has been taught to us. It's not the original essence of who we are. And once we get back into the original essence of who we are, you will have the ability to control your actions, your emotions, your thoughts. You will be in control, and your emotions won't override you and take control of you. Because right now the emotions and people are responding off of their belief of who they think they are and who they believe other people are. You wear a uniform as a cop, and so people automatically, or the climate is being construed that if you wear that uniform, then you must be against black people. Now that concept is coming.
Right, right, because, you know.
That's not true, though. It's not true.
Right,
because you got good police officers out here that's suffering.
Because of bad officers.
Because of bad or the mentally deranged. I'm not even going to call them bad officers. I'm going to say this is all happening in the mind.
True, true.
So we want to have to deal with the mind. This is all about the mind. All is mental. So
and I was thinking about that, King.
Yes.
Right. What they're making us have a distaste for law enforcement. And so if we was to get our own nation right now, we would have to have law enforcement.
Yes.
Right. And so, you know, I'm speaking to those people that just say fuck law enforcement.
Yes.
It's an age-old noble craft passed down to us from our ancestors.
Yes.
And if we had a nation right now, we would have to enforce some type of laws. We would encounter some of similar situations with people.
That's true.
Right.
Well, why do we need laws? Because
everybody ain't gonna agree.
Because of the concepts that we have of ourselves.
Right.
We need laws because now when you have this concept of being separate from all, then that means you're gonna act independently. You might have a thought, you might not like someone because of the way they look, because of their color, their beliefs. It's all based on the concept of you have of that person or yourself. So if you eliminate the concept, then what is there not to love? That's the key, because once you eliminate all concept, then you fall in love with all because you're a part of all. But the concept, we've been, evil and good is a concept that was taught to us from birth, coming up.
Right.
You wouldn't know good and evil if nobody taught you that.
Right.
You wouldn't even know the word good and evil in any language.
And we picked that up from Judeo-Christian Islamic perspective as far as we did.
We picked that up. That might be true. I don't know, because in Africa, before we encounter in America, you're right. In America, in America we have.
And we encountered Islam in the Bible before being brought here to Africa. We may not have encountered Christianity in the form that it is, but Catholicism was brought to Africa before we came.
It was brought to Africa.
And they had the concept.
We was in tune with nature. We was more in tune with nature at that
and that
time.
Concept of God and the devil came with that Catholicism.
Yes, but still, it was still Africans against African, tribe against tribe.
Right.
Because
the ego was still there.
The ego was still
there
in
before
place.
Religion.
It was there before the religion and before the European.
It's a human issue.
It's a concept that has been taught.
Ego.
Ego is developed because ego means mistaken identity. You believe yourself to be independent from the whole.
Well, I remember one time Doc was talking about the little kid that take the Tonka truck and clunk the other one in the head.
Yeah, because that's all instinctively possession. So you got certain instincts that, you know, identify with me and mine. But even me and mine is a concept being taught. Because if somebody give a child a toy and say, this is your toy, or you start teaching the child that the child is, you say, let's say his name is Johnny. Well, Johnny, he starts identifying with the form as Johnny. And so anything that is given to Johnny is mine.
Belongs to Johnny.
It says mine. Yes, the word mine comes into existence. First the word I comes into existence. And then I is mistakenly identified with the mind-body person. It no longer is I am existence itself. It is I am Johnny, or I am a boy, or I am a girl.
Right.
You add the
That's why you find some children that will share.
Yes, it's based on how you raise that child and the concepts that you give that child. I'm not going to say that instinctively certain things haven't been passed down genetically, but those could be bred out. You can, all of that could be bred out if you teach the child or give the child a sense of true identity based on its own experiences.
And I'm kind of glad you brought this up because it made me think about something that Minister Inky said one time.
What's that?
And I got to bring this question to you too because it's kind of bothering me. Minister Inky gave the fucking planet away. So now, under this type of teaching, who does this planet belong to? Does it belong to us?
The planet doesn't belong to no one. The planet, like the Earth, the planet...
You don't want it?
It's not that I don't want it.
Okay.
Once you start saying it belongs to a particular group, you're in the ego, because now you're identifying with the form again. But the universe is free. Everything in it, like the air, is free. The water is free. So when somebody say it belongs to me, that is the beginning of the ego. That's how the devil was formed, because the devil lost awareness of his connection to the whole, and he started thinking he was independent. Because the consciousness expresses in multiplicity, which is forms, the different forms that we see. That's how consciousness experiences. So once you start identifying only with the body, like we talked about the Adam story, when Adam was just clay. Mud clay, without the breath of life, it was just a form. Well, until the breath was breathed, it took life, it became a living soul. But when you identify only with the body, then you get the concept of me and mine and belonging to me. And that's greed and that's ego.
So
that's
so
the
you
problem.
think the ego is driving these monsters in police uniforms?
The ego is ruining everybody. It's ruining everybody. But we're coming into an awakening, a universal resurrection of knowing who we really are, which is pure consciousness, which is sometimes called God, and we don't like to use those words because that word is already given a definition that reduces it to some individual entity that's outside of ourselves. And as long as we stay with that, then we can argue. We have something to argue about, because I believe God is this, and you believe Allah is that, and Jehovah, and so forth. And so you got all this division.
Well, I think if we throw God in the trash can, we won't argue about it.
Then we'll argue about something else, because the ego will still be in place. But we have to get back to the original, to the purity of what all is. We have to get back to the purity of what all is, and then all these problems will stop. Your suffering will cease to exist.
So, is the word Om the word for all?
Is the word for what?
All. Om.
Om is a universal tone. The universe is, everything in existence is vibrating. The universe vibrates on the frequency of Ain or Om. It's the Hindus say Om, but the original sound was Ain. And it's just a hum. It's like every time when you think of something, you say,
Right.
It's just a
So that's what I was wondering one time, right?
Yeah.
With the Hebrew Israelite greeting and the Muslim greeting.
Yeah.
The last, what you would call it, a phoneme on the end. Om, shalom.
Shalom. Yes.
Om. Like, I want the Israelites to explain to me, why is the Om in your shalom? Why is the Om in your salam?
That's a very good point, because it is in the natural languages, the greetings
they would have to explain that. They would have to explain that.
And they should be able to, if they're going to use the word.
They should.
If they knew the tones of the universe, because everybody's vibrating on that. It's just, you know, mentally we're changing the frequency because of the music that is being played, the natural instruments is being taken out, especially our music in the Nubian community. We using synthesizers and things like that to make the beats and all that. So all the natural music has been removed and it's altering our brain patterns.
The binary beats.
Yes, it's destroying our brain. So that's why, me personally, I like country music, because country music still has the natural instruments. And it's more soothing, it's more tuned. We're going to have to break away.
I grew up on country music. You know, my daddy used to listen to that every night.
Yeah, my dad did too.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why, but I do now.
Crystal Gale.
Yes, I do now.
All those,
If you really notice, people who listen to country music aren't as crazy.
I remember the Ansars used to dress up like cowboys.
Oh, because Pop brought us into that culture.
You remember that back in the 90s?
Yeah, I wore it. I wore the cowboy hats, the boots, the buckle.
Oh, no. You got to give me a picture of that.
I was loving it.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was, but what he was showing us through the different changes was he was introducing us back into the natural music again. He was trying to get us away from what we were being given and what is being marketed to destroy us.
Yeah, those destructive tones.
Man, they're very destructive. And I know we love our
music,
they
don't even know it.
Take the rap
the mantra is in the club.
Yeah,
kill a nigga, kill a nigga, kill a nigga, right?
It's
and on
happening.
That frequency, right?
It's happening.
And the preacher is the MC, right? And he preached to him, right?
Is the preacher.
Right. So they keep on saying the mantra,
That's right.
Fuck them hoes, kill them motherfucker, kill them motherfucker. Next thing you know, they amped up because they're chipping changed in their rhythm.
That's right.
Next thing you know, he walked out the club, kill somebody.
That's right.
She walked out the club and screwball said and do.
That's right.
Or might do them in the bathroom.
That's right.
Yeah. The club is the new holy place
but if you
unholy.
look at the word club, where do you use a club? What do you
bust somebody in the head.
Bust somebody in the head.
You've been struck with a blow to the head that has rendered you what? Dead.
That's right. And that's what it is, the mentally dead. Wake up. You have to wake up, man. You have to come back into your true self. You got to come back into your true self, or you will suffer. You will suffer your experiences. You yourself will never suffer because you are omnipresent. But your concept of you that you have of yourself will suffer. You will believe the thoughts that come through your mind that causes the suffering. Therefore, you will
because that shit's biodegradable.
Yes, you have the power to free yourself. In the beginning was the word. The word can either free you or destroy you. It's all in how it's
I know them tones. Yeah, them tones.
You gotta know yourself.
So Israelites, what's up with your Om and your Shalom?
Hey, I would love for them to sit down. We can reason together.
Because is Abram Brahma, since the Om is in the Shalom?
It's Amma, it's Om and Brahma.
Abram, Brahma.
It's all you hear it. That's why you're saying it. You hear the tone. And that's the original languages had those tones. We used to sing our words.
Tones don't lie.
English kind of cut us off.
Men and women lie.
Ancestors.
But numbers and tones,
they don't lie.
They don't lie.
That's true.
Right. Somebody could say something like you could be in a different country, right?
Yeah.
They got stick-up mobs in every race.
That's right.
You could feel the vibration in what they're saying. You ain't even got to hear what they're saying. I can say, that nigga just said he was going to rob me.
That's real.
Because the vibration and the tones don't lie.
Thought has weight. Right. You can feel somebody's thought. If you're in tune with your original self. Sometimes people are sending you messages, right, and you ain't picking up on it because you're so consumed in thought
with something else. That you had a firewall.
That you ain't in your rightful position of peace where you can receive the messages called telepathy that's coming at you all day long.
Which is that 7.
Yes, and you can avoid
skills of the mind.
The 7 what? No?
7 skills of the mind.
I haven't heard that.
You know, like one of them you just said.
Oh.
Mental telepathy.
Yes, telepathy, clairvoyance, psychometry, intuition. It's really 4 higher senses that we had access to, but we lost access to that because of we fell from grace. We are those fallen angels. We fell from being
I'm not an angel.
to supreme being, to human, and now you see, look around, beast.
I'm a human.
Yeah, well, human, that's just one part of you. Hue, from HU in the original tones mean creative will.
Right, that's a tone too.
And man is the root of mammal, which is your physical. That's all the physical, but you got to add the being onto that. Human being. So now you have a balance between your physical composition and your spiritual composition. And once you have that balance in place, man, you powerful.
So you think we just gonna hum our damn enemies away?
We cannot hum our enemies away, but we can wake up and break free of the enemy of our own thinking. Because our worst enemy is our own thoughts.
But when we get that straight,
then we can come together and we can do what's necessary to prevent ourselves from becoming a victim of the sickness of the mind. And it's not a race of people, a particular race that's causing suffering for the Nubian people. It's a few in European race, in Nubian race, or African American, Asian. It's a few in every
it's multicultural.
Man, evil or this deranged mind has no race, no specific race. It can come from anywhere. Like Malachi said, his greatest hindrance was the black devil. It wasn't the white devil. He knew how the white guy was coming.
Well, I don't believe in the devil, but I'm having a lot of problem out of niggas.
Yeah, well, so we only using concepts
but
again
not black folks.
When you talk about God and devil, because I can say conscious and unconscious and it would mean the same thing. If you're conscious, then you're in the energy of God. If you're unconscious, you're in the energy of the devil. Even the root, when they call the European the devil, they just talking about recessiveness and melanin. That's all. That's all they're talking about is melanin recessive. But they're saying that the original melanin has been lost, and so it just makes them. It doesn't make them evil. It's just a recessive gene. So that is originally what it originally meant. It didn't make them evil. It didn't make no one evil, because you got more black people that's doing more destructive things towards our own community and other communities than you have them doing it to us.
Right, right. Well, I mean, I go through it with my people, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a lover and a hater of my people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to help some of them out of their condition, and I'm trying to hit some of them back in the fucking head and knock them back down.
I hear you. It makes you want to, but that's when you're taking it personal.
Because when you resurrect, you got to realize you're going to resurrect positive and negative. Because you can wake up some shit.
Yeah, you can, but you can't take it personal. You're back in ego once you take these things personal, because now you identify.
Well, you know I'm human.
I know, but you are also being. So I know you. That's the mind wants to just go back to human, so you can make really an excuse for doing what you want to do.
Look, I ain't gonna hurt nobody, King. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
I know you. I know your heart.
Just don't make me do it.
I felt your heart.
Yeah.
I understand.
And that's why I don't like to watch them. Like when I watch them two guys getting murdered, I don't like to watch stuff like that.
Neither do I.
You know, and that's why I had to get out of Islam, right? Because if I hadn't got out of Islam, bro, I would have wound up joining ISIS or some shit like that.
No, I understand.
I'm talking about dead ass, King.
Man, because that's got a lot of negative energy.
Because when I heard them children cry, and I heard them parents cry, see, because back then I used to believe in God, and I used to believe that I was God. And so when I heard them people cry, I think they crying out for me to come do something about it. It's like their soul is saying, "Help me, Lord."
Well, you doing your part. You
no, I
awareness.
wanted to do more than that.
But you
and
didn't
so I had to
that.
detach from that.
From that thought.
Because I would have went there.
I understand.
You know, like I had to turn it. I told my wife this morning, man, I had to turn that off, man, because I might go see. It'll make me go see somebody.
Yeah, it bothered me. It bothered me when then I had to come out of that, because then I realized I became aware again that I was taking this personal, and I had to start dissecting it and seeing what the truth is happening.
But right now, this shit is personal with me, man.
I understand.
It's still personal with me, so
if it
work
becomes
with me.
Personal,
work with me.
When it becomes personal, like it's becoming with a lot of different people right now, you can be affected by it. So when the universe presents a situation, a tense situation towards you that could not be what you perceive it to be, because just say an officer come up to you and tell us to put down the camera, we can't do this here, and we take that personal, then we might react a certain way, which might cause him to pull out his gun.
No, I'm gonna walk over there and do it over there.
That's all.
And then when he actually move, I'll walk back over here and do it over here.
You can surrender. You can, if you're in the presence of a deranged mind, you don't have to combat it. Like fire produce more fire. The explosion, you can't put fire on an explosion.
But I can't continue to have incidences like that. I couldn't continue to have incidents like that.
Yeah, you won't have incidents like that once you get out. I
can't continue to have incidences like Kadesh.
You won't have it, but you gotta unite with people.
You ain't gonna keep on running me out my shit.
We are creating the situations because of how we're thinking. If we change our thought, we as God have the power to change our condition. Whatever you're thinking inwardly will manifest outwardly. The reason why we're experiencing this chaos is because of the thoughts that we're manifesting into reality.
I don't know.
We were created in the image and after the likeness of God. You have the power to create your own circumstances. But collectively,
you know, I love that belief.
I know you have, but we're gonna get you back there.
Oh hell no! I'm not fucking with God, son, and the devil.
But see, you still talking about the concept. I'm not talking about that the way they believe it to be. I'm not talking about. I know you pulling it out, and I appreciate that, because we're not talking about the concept that we've been given by King James and
the
Israelites and
the Nation of Islam,
the Sunni Muslims who produce in the Quran. I can't think of the author of that book. But once we get back into just natural existence, we will do.
So what do the lion
harmonious things?
What does a lion do to his adversaries?
Well, the lion works off the instincts. If it's hungry, it feeds. But it's not going to, like...
We're hungry. We're hungry.
So we feed. But what are we going to feed ourselves with? Are we going to feed ourselves with the truth, or are we going to feed ourselves with more evil?
I told you I want to run the military.
Okay.
Y'all handle all the teaching.
Then run the military, because we need that too. But the military has to be in their right state of consciousness.
Oh, I'm gonna let y'all talk to them.
If they're not in that state of consciousness, then you're gonna have chaos in your ranks.
I wouldn't be against y'all talking to the military.
Because we do have the ability to defend ourselves. That's intelligent.
And to annihilate our enemies and remove them from the plane of existence.
Don't create enemies by way of your thinking. If something comes towards you, then you defend yourself. But if you consciously are saying, I have an enemy out here, the universe will magnify.
Doc had the swords of Islam. Doc had the swords of Islam.
Doc had, because he knew the condition that his people was in.
I think he had 3 female assassins around him, too.
Who was they for? They wasn't for the Caucasian, they was for the Negroes in the community. That's who he had the sword of Islam for. It was the Negroes in the community selling each other drugs and destroying our children. That's why he did that.
Okay.
It wasn't for the white man. We already knew that even the white man couldn't get Malachi. He didn't get Malachi. It was his own son. It was his own people in the nation that got Malachi.
But he still drove them vehicles up on that land.
Who? Yeah, because he had help. Just like in Africa, the white man didn't get us out of slavery without the help of more Africans.
We got to identify.
We got to deal with our own.
Right.
When we deal with our own and separate from those who are lost in their mind, then we will create a better world for ourselves. But it's got to be a separation. And those who ain't willing to separate, you will perish with the ones who are lost. That's the bottom line. It says in Scripture, come out of where my people do not partake of a plague. They're talking about coming out of the world of your mind.
Because it ain't rocket science, man.
It ain't real.
Unite. It ain't rocket science.
We will never be able to unite until we get out of this conditioning that we have of ourselves.
Most of what we got to do is unlearn stuff.
We got to unlearn stuff because our cup is too full. We think we know every damn thing, and nobody else can come and share something. So somebody as simple as me, who don't have a lot of intellectual words because I didn't go to their colleges, and I did spend 1 year in their college, and I studied early childhood
I dropped out in the 6th grade.
But if I don't have the articulation that the intellectuals have, so some people look at me like, well, he doesn't sound so intellectual. He doesn't have the PhD and all that. Well, when we come simple. It's the simple message. It's a very simple message. It doesn't require all that. But I appreciate your time.
Hotel. Black Power. And we out.
Indeed.
Right.
That's right. Black Power.
Well, we should do that, Black Power.
Black Power.
Black Power.
That's right. That's what we talking about, right? Because they damn sure showing us white power.
Oh.
Right. Can I get a loud black power? Black power. Black power. Black power. Unite or keep dying.
Unite or keep dying.
Look, it's not rocket science. Unite or keep dying.
Unite or keep dying.
Black power.